keeping it steady. You know, when trauma, grief, loss, estrangement, betrayal, difficult feeling states come up, when they came up in my life, there was a very big space of time, about 5 years, where many, many difficult things happened. And I watched what happened, that I couldn't get to a place of making any decisions. I just couldn't. I didn't have any capacity. I was in a place of, I think, really extreme overwhelm. I was still working, I was functioning, I was coaching. You know, that piece was all right. But there was so much there. So much there. A lot of really well-meaning people, almost everybody, kept talking about modalities, and I kept looking for modalities where I could find a choice point from this place of such deep wounding that was triggering childhood trauma as well, too. That was all there, alive and well. You know, those neural pathways don't go away. We talk about neuroplasticity, but when events happen, you know, people say they're triggered, that kind of thing. Well, that trigger is the tweak, it's the itch, the dam that breaks, and the water comes rushing through of old stuff. So that was all there too. It was a lot. It was just a lot. And I remember going to see thinking I needed a trauma therapist, and I've done. If you've seen other videos of mine, I did therapy from age 12, and I was reading books on it before then because of my environment that I grew up in, and I guess just the way my little brain was wired. I knew I was in trouble. You know, I did. I knew it, and that's how I was trying to fix things. I've I think I've done every modality except a few that I just can't get behind. And none of them I really felt like I never reached a place of I was healed. So this period of my life, this last 5 years, and I'll say that 5 years is a couple of years in the rearview mirror, pretty much. And I was beyond flummoxed, honestly, about what to do with the gravity of all of the feelings and all of the thoughts and everything. There was the house fire where I lost everything. There were betrayals in my relationship. I found out after my partner died. Questions that will never be answered. My partner, the love of my life, left me inexplicably at one point in that 7-year stretch. And it was a year exactly to the day of the fire. He came back with a cancer diagnosis that was terminal, and it was aggressive. So there were medical things that happened for myself where I almost died. I got diagnosed with a degenerative eye disease. This has all happened in the 5 years. It was a lot. So there I was. Marla was gone. Took 3 years for the house to get rebuilt. I was living in this little apartment, still working. Great job. Yeah, supporting people. And going, where do I find this healing? How do I get healed? How? I couldn't make any movement. I just didn't have the capacity. Honestly, I didn't. My nervous system was so overwhelmed and so overridden. If you're in that place, whether you've had a lot of things happen in a short period of time, or you've had a few things happen, maybe they're from childhood, they're still kind of chewing at you. You know, they come up, you want to get rid of them. It's painful. You might be feeling like I was just a loser. Like I just was like, everybody's saying, do this, do that, and I can't. I can't. Oh, if you're feeling like that, well, my tender heart just wants to hold you. So here's the thing. I saw this person under the guise of, okay, I think I need a specialist, a trauma therapist. And I went to her, and that wasn't it. That wasn't it. What I needed was I needed to stop. I would almost call it a form of self-abandoning. Probably because my own personal autonomy wasn't really strong. And I say that, when I say that, and if you say that to yourself, try not to say that with a sense of like you're bad or a broken person, because this was really what needed to not be in the picture. As my healing unfolded to where I am now, which is that stuff all happened. It's got an impact. The neural pathways are there in my brain. There's other things, though, that I needed to be witnessed. And there was really nobody. There was really nobody. I mean, I could have paid a therapist for an hour to hear my story, but my story was so long, it would have cost me a fortune. And there's something about that. What I came to was I remember thinking, I am so on my own here. What do I need to do? My mind told me, or I think it came from a larger place than that I needed to create a life of meaning and purpose based on values. I still couldn't make any movement. I'd be in training courses around things, and people would say, well, look, this modality is so exciting, and I can help my clients with this and that. And I was just sitting there going, but what if you have clients who aren't anywhere near a choice point? That was me. And I was sitting in these trainings, and I was dying. I felt so alone. Oh. So, existentially, we are. We are alone. And existentially, I guess I'll say truth, to kind of, maybe that sounds a bit trite, but my truth is also that I am part of a much bigger whole. And that bigger whole that I talk about, think about, feel about, found my capacity in is conscious awareness. You could call it awakened awareness. I want to be very careful not to minimize that too. Everybody's talking about it. Presence, mindfulness. I couldn't put together a practice for more than maybe a minute or two every day around finding a sense of safety. I found capacity in awareness, or it found me. I mean, I think it's always there. It's just that we live these lives of such mind and emotion complexity. It's part of being in a human body. And we just don't make room for this larger dimension that, without capacity, well, not much happens. And capacity is there. You actually don't even have to work for it. That's really what I want to share with you in my own healing. And I won't say healed. I'm not your girl. If you want to talk about being healed, you can call it whatever you want, but I don't refer to myself as healed. I am definitely in process on a healing journey, and wahoo, I am living the dream now. I'll talk to you soon.